Well, thank you. Hello, everyone. Today is May 19th, 2016, and welcome to We Are the Solution 128 with MistiLyn Star. And tonight, my guest and co-host is Candy Carroll from the Candy Shop Show, which can be heard live on Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And we are part of the Diamond Network, created by Elizabeth Diamond. You can call in to listen to and participate in calls live on Monday nights at 7:30 Central. That's the main call. And Tuesday nights at 7:30, we have Voices from the Alternative World with Dale and Sunny. Wednesday nights at 8:30 Central is the Candy Shop Show with Candy Carroll. And every other Thursday night, we have Cynthia, Marianne, and Mare to give us beautiful astrological and inspirational upliftment to help us through these intense energies that many of us are experiencing. And now, every other Thursday night, you can catch We Are the Solution 128 with MistiLyn Star, where the main focus will be natural and organic healing of mind, body, and spirit. We really appreciate you joining our calls either live or on our YouTube channel. The live call-in number is 641-715-3836. Enter code 883-267#. And if you can't make the live shows, you can call in on the recorded line, the recorded playback line, which is 641-715-3813. And then the access code is 883-267#. And then it will give you an option for which show you'd like to listen to. I believe if you just hit pound, it'll play the last show. And our show this evening is number 430, I do believe. So tonight, I think what I'd like to do, if that's okay, is I'd like to say hello to Candy. And go ahead and say hello, Candy. Are you there?
I am here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for joining us. I'm wondering, I would like to say the Law of One, and then perhaps we could do a card reading real quick to kind of start off the show. And then I'm hoping to talk with you more about eco-village and community living and intentional communities. And I'm just very interested to hear about your experience. I do know a lot of people who are very, very interested in this topic. And, anything you could do to share things that have worked, maybe things that haven't worked, or maybe just focus on the things that have worked and where we're going. And just that kind of thing. How does that sound?
That sounds great, Missy.
Okay, wonderful. So if it's okay, let's see. Would you like to say the prayer of one, or shall I go ahead and say it while I shuffle my cards? Either way.
Oh, I can say it.
Okay, please do then, Candy. Thank you very much.
Even those on the YouTube, all of us, let's just take a moment. Let's pause. Let's understand the communal, intentional community life that I'm going to be talking about is spiritual based, and that's the way you can really have a lot of success. And we always want to put spirit first, and so let us invoke the universal law of one, knowing that we are all one. And when one is harmed, all are harmed. And when one is helped and healed and loved, everyone is helped and healed and loved. And in the name of I am, and my name is I Am. I ask for the highest good of all concerned throughout our solar system, throughout the universe, and especially focusing on those sweet souls that are trying to develop a better lifestyle, more in tune with the universe through their intentional community efforts. And we ask this, again, for the highest good of all concerned in all time and space, and we give thanks that it is done. So be it.
And so it is. Thank you very much, Candy. Thank you so much. Now, actually, I haven't okay, so I'll go ahead and explain a little bit. I have a tarot deck that I've had for about 18 years, and I've only just started using them over about the last year, but they're so full of wonderful energy. They are Native American and Celtic inspiration, and what I like to do is offer a reading, and I'll generally have somebody else pick the number of the card that I will read. And I just like to read the description and read the prophecy, and it'll set the tone, and hopefully it'll be like a reading for everybody who's listening, that they may glean something positive, confirming, or inspirational out of it. And about 100% of the time, the cards are actually what we are going to be discussing. So this is called the DJ Conway and Serona Knight Shapeshifter Tarot. And so why don't now we had another caller, and I don't know if she wants to speak right now. Are you on? Would you like to say hello real quick? I might ask you to pick a card. Okay, so quiet. Silence. Okay, so Candy, could you please pick a card between 1 and 81? Can include 1 and 81. Any number coming to you?
I see 58.
58. Okay. So now we'll just take a moment while I find 58. And so just one moment. Feel free to talk if you'd like to. While I'm counting.
Okay. Well, I think the tarot cards are very beautiful, and there is a set where you that's black and white for people to color themselves and put their own energy into them, and that's a very special, very lengthy process. Especially, if you're doing it with colored pencils. Of course, there's these wonderful coloring and paint projects programs online. But I think the tarot cards are very important. I do a lot of reading with the I Ching cards in very much the same way as Misty has shared some very inspirational words with her tarot cards. Are you ready?
Well, I sure am. And can you tell me again what kind of cards do you use?
I Ching.
Oh, I Ching. Ooh.
Yeah,
that would be wonderful.
Yeah, they're the Owaspy version of the I Ching cards. They were channeled and produced by some Canadians in the 1980s.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. Ooh, I'd be interested in looking at those or listening or having yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll
experiencing them one day.
Right.
Okay, well, I do have this card now, and the card that came up is Water Element Cups, and it's the number 2 and love. The traditional card is 2 of Cups, and the key words are love, harmony, and kindred soul. This is a great card. Okay, so the description of the card is this. A lion, merged with the bright sun, dominates the sky and dips down into the waters of the ocean. The sun represents spiritual power, strength, and courage, all necessary ingredients to making changes and creating desirable situations. In order to be able to accomplish this creating, the initiate must fully understand how to correctly combine spiritual power, the sun, spirit, co-creating strength of God, with the creative matrix, ocean, abyss, emotions, womb of the goddess, using wisdom, timing, courage of conviction, and strength of will. The initiate is shifting into the dolphin form, a creature symbolizing the active seed forms, releasing negative emotions back into the creative matrix. The initiate is setting the stage to freely create positive emotions. Drawing on harmony and balance of the watery abyss, the initiate dolphin leaps for joy, knowing that she or he has moved into a time of balance between the spiritual and the physical, a place where all things become possible. The harsh, rugged cliffs of hard times lie behind. Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yay. I do believe that with all of my heart. Messengers, birds from spirit, rise into the golden air, representing the free flow of messages from the deities to the initiate. The wings of enlightenment and spiritual thought are repeated in the fins of the frolicking dolphins. Being at one with the goddess and the god fills the initiate with joy and blessed harmony. Whew. So the prophecy is, a time of balance and harmony is achieved after difficult times. You are at peace with yourself and others, subconsciously preparing for positive changes to come into your life. Your desire for a companion or friend, a kindred soul, is close to being fulfilled. So that was the prophecy for that. And I do believe, I woke up this morning myself just over the last several days, and it's just been feeling like a more and more calming, at peace. Everything's okay. We've got wonderful, wonderful times ahead of us and wonderful times now. And I see a lot of people finding a lot of interest in being self-sustaining, communal living, just using our resources very wisely. And it's something I'm very interested in as far as how we can learn to be more self-sustaining ourselves, and also with our communities. I know that Ubuntu, when I first learned about Ubuntu, and I think it's Michael Tellinger, I was so fascinated and I was just so interested. And I definitely think that that's where we're going, where we're headed, and people are doing it and have been doing it for a long time, like our Candy Carroll, for certain. And so I was just really excited when I realized you could be on with me tonight, and I really wanted to talk to you more about what you're doing, but not to deviate from the tarot card. Let me ask, did that connect with you at all, Candy?
Oh, it does. It does. Now, is this card supposed to be for the next week or the month? Is it supposed to be just for me or for the people listening to this call?
Well,
do you know?
I would say that since you picked the number, it's likely specific to you. You, me, it could be any one of us that are on the call right now, and anybody who may listen that it calls to, truly, that it resonates with.
Well, certainly. Well, and I appreciated those words, and I will most likely listen to the YouTube and listen to what it said even again. But yes, I'm seeking harmony. I'm seeking more friendship and love in my life, as we all should be. And we can't have too much love.
No.
Love for the plants and the trees and our star brothers and sisters and our human brothers and sisters.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, you know what? I'll tell you what. I'm going to take a picture of the card, and I'm going to send it to you, and I'll send you also a picture of the description and the prophecy so you can read it again and read it with your own eyes and see.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, we can do that.
So I only had a chance to listen to the very first part of last night's call, and then I didn't get to listen to more, but I'm excited to know kind of more, whatever you would like to really share about how your communal living is going. I believe you said you have an all-women's commune. Is that correct? Is it called Candyland?
This week we kind of came up with that nickname. I mean, the name that we have used and the name that we are listed in the intentional community website is Ozark Dawn, DAWN. You know, representing the beginnings of the new paradise on earth that disclosure and first contact is going to bring. I was very much involved in the UFO movement when I decided in 1975 that I wanted to live in the countryside. I was raised in the city, but I wanted to go out into the country and live on the land and close to Mother Earth with like-minded friends and that were really spiritual based. And in 1975, I became a vegetarian, and then along with my husband, and we traveled throughout America and in Europe, looking at communities, seeing what the communes were like, and interviewing folks as what they did right and wrong. And there was a commune outside Cambridge, England, that we just really fell in love with, but we weren't quite prepared to leave America permanently. And so eventually we found there was a group of 8 of us that agreed that we wanted to find land and have a community, and we signed that pledge and dedicated our lives to the Creator on May 1st, 1978. And they said that they would go home, sell their homes, and liquidate their assets, and they appointed my husband to find us a place in the Ozarks, and so he was able to do that because he had a traveling job with the regional in the Ozarks. But very shortly the others backed away from the plan, and so we just bought 5 acres that had a home already built on it that we could see what could be developed into a communal main house, and we have added many square feet, and we've made a lot of improvements to the main home in all these years. And we had a lot of people come and go in the 80s, but it was discouraging in some ways, although you learn lessons. And my husband and I, we made some mistakes that we learned from, and now I'm reaping the rewards of all of those mistakes. I mean, even in the last 5 years since my husband died 6 years ago, I've had over 15 people come to live on this land, and for various reasons they have departed. But right now there's 6 adults on the land, and my grandson visits often, and some other children. And so it's coming together. Candyland, Ozark Dawn, it's coming together at the right time in the right place. It's gorgeous here. There's a lot of love, and it's happening finally in the year 2016.
Oh, hooray. That's wonderful. Can you tell me, I mean, that sounds amazing to me.
Now, my website it's advertised at ic.org, and you would type in, you could go to Missouri and you could type in Ozark Dawn, DAWN, and you would see my picture and my write-up and about our commune here.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. So are you very, I assume you must be very self-sustaining. Are you completely self-sustaining?
Oh, no. Everybody, we're not wanting to ever be part of the Twin Oaks system, where with the Twin Oaks systems, they're communist-like. They everybody turns in all their assets to the group, and they have their products. And I mean, ideally, you would have a commune that had a business that could self-support. But the people that have come here, we each have our own income. We each have our own bills, and we're each responsible for that. The community doesn't take over their assets. We don't take over their bills. And so I can tell you a little more about how we do handle those things. Now you're telling me, Misty, that you have met a few folks and that you were thinking about trying to organize yourself into a urban or rural commune?
Well, what I see and with the people that I know is that a lot of us are just really wanting to come together to help each other and to use our talents and our skills and the things that we do enjoy doing to help ourselves, but then to share and help other people. And I don't know if it would be anything that would go into like a whole commune. I mean, 6 to 8 people. I mean, I've lived in a pretty big house for quite some time, and I've rented rooms for quite some time out. So a lot of times we have different people living in the house. I just don't like to waste energy and space and put it to good use. And that's kind of how I've been for a while. So I don't mind sharing a house with good people.
Right. Well, I don't. I guess I'll just talk more specifically to what we're doing here now, and people can apply it to their own situations, what they can.
But let me just say this. Yes, there are a lot of people within my community who would like to know a lot more about this and who would be interested in possibly doing something like that. So I would like to be able to share with them kind of what that might be about and about what your experience would be wonderful, maybe, because you've done.
Maybe some of them could listen to this call this week, and I could come back next week and they could ask me questions, or the following week, whenever you want to do a follow-up. But let me say,
absolutely,
you have communes that are, you have a lot of different kind of communes. In England, the communes were economic based, and that's what survived because people couldn't afford a car or television and things. And but if the commune went together and bought a car or a television, they were fine, and they were not spiritual based, and they would serve. One table would have all the vegetarian meals on it, and the other table would have the meat dishes, and like that, and it worked out fine. In America, it seems that there was an antagonism between the vegetarians and the meat eaters. They couldn't seem to get along well in one community, and now I'm a little more aware of spiritual things. I think, but what we're doing right now, it's working here. And so you have the authoritarian ones. You might have the guru type. You might have some, like based on Montessori schools. That might be what brought the community together. But what I am interested in, and I think you're interested in, is they're interested in a health-oriented spiritual commune. And so I'll focus on that kind. Now, a lot of the literature that I read, of course, I've said this before. I was inspired by the UFO Bible, a WASPI, channeled in 1881, and at the end of this 1,000-page, it has a description of a type of a spiritual vegetarian commune. And now in 1881, today we refer to the Creator as all source or all light, and in this book it's called all light is called Jehovah, and it's not related to the Jehovah of the Bible or Jehovah Witnesses. But if someone wanted to Google and write down in the Google search line OAHSPE, OAHSPE space Book of Jehovah, JEHOVIH, I think that would get it. It's also called the Book of Shalom, SHALAM, because in this book it talks about a future time when the spiritual commune is formed, and it might be called Shalom, or just which means peace. So we want to like your card said, harmony and peace. That's a great name for a commune. All right. So there's a lot of people, they're concerned about authoritarian, but people have wasted so much time in the OAHSPE movement and some other spiritual movements of trying to pass the peace pipe so that different people are facilitators and that you're not being like a guru, authoritarian kind of a person. And they've wasted so much time and energy that, it doesn't even work anyway. And so later on, when I stepped back from the communal efforts and I had a business, and everything worked well. Everybody got along. We accomplished a lot, and that was just wonderful. So, and of course, the business models today, they're not authoritarian like they were, in the 1930s. And so I thought, wow, something's actually getting accomplished. I'm the CEO, and I pay my secretary and my foreman, and they take their checks home, and they do what the projects that's asked, and it all happens. It was wonderful. And so, and then I invested in being a landlord, and the same thing. We set the rules, and they know what they're supposed to pay, and they follow the rules, and everybody's happy. And so that's what I have here. I am now that my husband's passed, my children are grown, and they have their own individual homes. I'm renting out the children's bedrooms and developing the 5 acres for this rental/commune. And I found that when I was trying to everybody who's come to me from the IC.org website has been a disappointment. A lot of the people it takes a lot of courage and individualism to be a vegetarian or, to be interested in community life. And they're such strong individuals that they can't even cooperate in a commune. So,
I completely understand.
I tricked these women into joining my commune. They didn't even know they were joining a commune when they moved in. I just got ordinary people through Craigslist, and I've had different ads on Craigslist, to rent rooms and stuff, and the men and the families, and I do a really tough screening before I accept someone. But anyway, so a few months ago, I advertised on Craigslist. You're not really supposed to do that, but I did. Nobody complained. I said, women only, rooms for rent, women only. And wow, I got all these inquiries, and it was just very nice and felt warm and fuzzy. So the women only thing is kind of a joke. Right now, in the house is women only, but in the mobile home, the family of 4 with a man ahead of it, and in the fifth wheeler, there's a man, and we're going to be putting up a cabin here in a couple of weeks, and there will be a man in that, and so this is kind of a relief to us 3 women because we do need the help of someone strong once in a while. And so, but anyway, it's the youngest woman asked if we could rent one of the rooms to a man, and we just really, it's so comfortable, because we all have to use the same bathroom, and it's just been very comfortable to just be all women because raising my family, I had 2 sons and 2 daughters, and there's always been men in this house, and so this is the first time that it's been all women, and I am really enjoying it.
I bet that you are. And nothing against the men, but there is something about a bunch of really strong. I assume if you're enjoying it, that the energy is really good. Are you able? Is everybody vegetarian?
Well, the one vegetarian that was first going to come, she's been dragging her feet and hasn't been coming. The other people, I just said, in the house, it's all vegetarian meals. And the people outside the house, I said, we would like you to come to a vegetarian potluck once a week. And so they have agreed to that. They right now, they're eating meat in their homes, and that might change or not. But anyway, and the women, the other 2 women here with me, they've been very sweet about understanding about that I'm a spiritual vegetarian. So that means we cannot cook meat in the same skillet. We can't have meat residue in the sink and in the washcloths and all that stuff. So there's absolutely no meat in the house, and if they have a standalone dinner and they heat it in the microwave, and then take it outside and eat it, that might happen. When they're not on the property, they're welcome. I've told them I don't want any barbecuing of fish. I can't stand the odor of fish and after years and years. And so and this one lady, she was too broke to eat away from the house, and so she went for 3 weeks without meat, and she was hungry for a hamburger, and it made her sick and have diarrhea, and she vomited it up immediately after only 3 weeks.
Yep. Yeah. Well, yes. Everything changes in your body when you stop eating meat. It's your body just adjusts. It adjusts, and it adjusts well. Usually, I mean, I can't say that fully for everybody. Sometimes I hear about different things, like people saying, well, they had to go back to eating meat because of this or that. But I'm a vegetarian, and I have been for quite some time. And I went back and forth with it a little, because at the time a couple of years ago I was married, and my ex-husband now, but he ate meat, and it was really hard for me to not eat meat when he ate meat, and I needed to prepare meals, for him or to enjoy meals with him, and it just, I don't know. So I had gone from vegetarian back to eating meat, and then I felt worse and worse and worse and worse just physically, and I started gaining weight again, and I just started experiencing all this stuff, but it was slow. And then I stopped eating meat again, and then almost within just a couple of days started feeling great again. And so I've just gone back and forth, and I completely understand what you're saying about, spiritual vegetarian.
And I hope everybody will listen to what she said and don't bother to go back and forth. Just switch, folks. Just switch.
Well, the thing of it is that
with Target and Walmart and the health food stores all selling these meat substitutes, they're delicious and they look right, and they're from Canada and they don't have GMO foods, so it's just really, really good. And I can see, that these folks are going to go this way, and I do want to get to some of the key things.
Surely.
Fast. So
surely.
So yeah. Now right here. So it kind of, everybody is open-minded, and it kind of helps the fact that I'm the leader of the commune. Because I'm 20 years older than everybody else, but they're open-minded. They're willing to learn. They respect my experience and my studies and background, and that I've been on this particular land. And so the young man was asking me questions about different kind of gardening techniques that works particularly right here. The ladies are all the time asking me about spiritual things and the magical wards that Christopher has taught us. And by the way, I think the main thing about that vegetarianism, is that Corey Goody has been channeling these folks that have said that he should be a vegetarian, and these Star brothers, and he got so sick eating meat that he couldn't keep any meat down. And so he said, okay, I give up. I'm going to be a vegetarian. So, follow Corey Goody's advice. And certainly I first heard about the concept of vegetarianism when I read the wonderful contactee George Dembski. In his book from 1951, The Venetians Have Landed. And they told him, he talked to them at Giant Rock, New Mexico. He took them to L.A. with them. They ordered peanut butter jelly sandwich in the restaurant, and they, they said, you're the only semi-advanced civilization on planets that we know about that eat their cousins, the animals. Everybody else, and nobody else smokes cigarettes, and nobody eats flesh meats on other planets. And I thought, wow. I never. It took me another decade or more to come around to that idea for me personally. But I think that's significant. So each one of the people pay me. In the Midwest, things aren't as expensive as other places. They pay me $350 for the room, utilities, Wi-Fi, access to the utility room, the television, trash. All the electricity and things, and to share the public rooms of the house, and so that is working out fine. The ladies contribute to our fund equally for our food, and if there's something else that we need, like toilet paper or laundry powder, then they'll contribute to that. I think a lot of these self-help books that teach about communications in communes and how to set things up and the different kinds of meetings and things that you do, I think a lot of them are written by men or greatly influenced by men, and I am finding that, wow, when you've just got all women, I just said when the lady said, well, I want to give you the check for the rent for the room, and she said, yes, I would like to share the kitchen equally, and I said, do you want to make your own meals, or can we share all the meals together, vegetarian? She said, well, that sounds like fun. Let's share our meals and cooking together. And so she didn't even know anything about the concept of a communal living, and she didn't even realize that that's what she had just agreed to.
I think that's a great idea. There's no sense in everybody trying to fix their own meals and so on. I mean, I assume maybe you guys help each other out, and with like who's cooking.
See, I did a lot of the cooking. Yeah, I did a lot of the cooking in the beginning to show them and model how to use the kitchen and how to cook vegetarian. And so, and so it was fun because they did all the dishes, and they were brave. I think, but I don't have a dishwasher. And so we have to wash the dishes by hand, but that can be like a meditation, but it's not fun to do it all the time. And so, anyway, and now Amy has learned about vegetarian cooking, and she said, why did I waste so many years in my life and all this money on all this fancy, a gourmet, meat cooking, for my family and all of this stuff. And she just enjoys the fact, because right now, the kind of vegetarian diet I'm on right now, forget the desserts, forget all the fancy breads and all the pasta. That's out the window. What people are eating now is roasted vegetables.
Oh, yes.
And salads, fresh salads with wild lettuces and spinaches and beautiful things. And we cut up the flowers, the daylilies and the redbud flowers. They're delicious in our salads. And
really?
Yeah, redbud flowers are wonderful.
Sound wonderful. I've yet to try flowers.
And lots of walnuts and peanuts in our salads. And sunflower seeds. So it's just, so oatmeal for breakfast with raisins is great. And so now she knows she does a lot of the cooking now. Now that she's seen how I do it, and so that's fun. Okay, let's see. So we just kept saying, well, go with the flow, and it has worked. Before, my mistakes would be, I would have these big meetings, and we would just, we would try to lay it all out and try to set the good examples right from the beginning. And my life, I'm all the time researching for the Candy Shop show, and I'm going different places and doing different things. And I just said, why don't we just go with the flow? So she was here for almost 10 days before I said, we need to sit down and brainstorm what the daily chores needs to be here. And, and so I included her, and so when she said, well, I think the kitchen floor needs to be swept every day, and I think that the trash needs to be burned every day. And she said, by the way, I'd be happy to be the one to burn the trash. And so we brainstormed in a list, and when the third woman came in, then we showed it to them, and she picked out which of the things that she wanted. So we each picked out what we want to do, what we like to do. The best, there was about 8 things we thought needed to be done every day, and then the things that nobody wanted, I went ahead and said, I would do it. If there had been 3 things that nobody wanted, then we would have each taken one thing. But there wasn't that many that nobody wanted to do. And so, and in the commune books the men write, they have it real formal. It's almost like kindergarten. Well, okay, it'll be your job to sweep the hallway floors and the bathroom floor for 2 weeks, and then you'll switch and you'll clean the sinks in the bathtub or do the dusting or the mirrors or something. Well, we're just going with the flow. We're not being formal. I mean, if anybody gets tired of doing the chore they nominated themselves for, then we'll sit down and we'll talk about redoing it. But so far, everybody's kind of happy and like Samantha had to go to the hospital, so one of us drove her to the hospital and was supportive, and the other one, just took care of the home front and took care of Samantha's chores while she was gone. We're just going with the flow and being like a family, and these ladies, we're just doing everything.
It sounds very supportive, and it sounds like a sisterly and a family and a friend, kind of support system. And it sounds very good. I think it's something that a lot of people should maybe consider, maybe understand that is something that's out there. There's a lot of people who live alone and who are maybe ready to downsize out of their big house, and maybe might think about getting into an intentional kind of community like this, and I believe that when one feels compelled to make a change, that if they just kind of put it out there or head it out there or just feel like that's coming, that God and the universe will help lead them to just the right places to be, place to go, or bring the right people to them.
Right. I mean, they can keep their big house and make a commune in it, or they can downsize and go join another commune. And you've got to remember to have the fun times. You've got to have but you don't have to formalize it. You have the fun times, have the spiritual times, have the work projects, have the daily projects. And, like when Samantha was well, she brought home the game Apples to Apples and fruit to make a virgin sangria. And we just had fun playing the game together and just enjoying each other. And then other times, like last night, I was I took a long trip with my daughter and was away overnight and had a lot of fun and bonded with my daughter. And so that gave Amy and Samantha and the new man a chance to bond and have dinner together. Mm-hmm. And then tonight, Samantha, she's away overnight with some girlfriends, and it's just I didn't know she was going to be overnight until 5 minutes before she left, and I mean that's fine. I mean she's a grown, independent woman. This isn't we're not stuck here. We just like to know. Well, when do you think you're going to be back? And she said 24 hours. And well, is there anything that I need to get for you when I'm in the city? Should I need to stop and shop? And I gave her a short shopping list. And so, one of the cars were broken down, and I was really pleased. My car was out of commission, actually, kind of, and so both of the other women just let me have their car keys, and I drove their cars for the 2 or 3 days that I didn't have my own, and it was just, relaxed and friendly and trustworthy, and I, put gas in their cars.
What a wonderful support system. I mean, really, it's just a wonderful support. It sounds just wonderful. Well, I really want to thank you for sharing this with me, and I wish that we had more time, but I do have to get to my worship service with some very wonderful women.
Say real quickly, and that's wonderful. Yeah. I'll say real quickly, one mistake that my husband and I realized long ago is that sometimes when these strange people, independent people would come, my husband and I would huddle in our bedroom and talk about the situation and about how concerned we were. And now I'm more spiritually aware, and it seemed like the next day after my husband and I would talk about the problems just between us, that there was more stress level, there was more tension in the air. And so we realized that these folks, although we were trying to be polite and didn't tell them that something they were doing was irritating us, their guardian angels could listen to our conversation and go whisper to them in their dreams.
It's time to go.
Yeah,
absolutely. Theirs and yours, You've
got to think positively. You've got to set your intentions, and you've got to just forgive things and just be silent about the words, because we're going into 5D and there's telepathy and everything, and if something is irritating, you need to say, hey, there's something we need to talk about. And just sit down and talk about it like two mature adults.
Yes, get it out. Say it, because otherwise it grows. It grows inside and turns into something. It could turn into something else altogether. But you know,
Right.
I would like to say this. I don't happen to believe in mistakes. I would say it was just practice. It was just some learning, because you said you had made some mistakes in the past. I mean, if not for the mistakes we've made, so to speak, I really don't believe in mistakes. But it's all just experience. And I mean, how we have to do that. We have to go through those times and go, oh, okay, so this might not, and just so. Anyway, gosh, Candy, I sure appreciate. Oh, we do have somebody come in, and I do have to go. But if this call wanted to keep going, I don't know who that is.
Hi, it's Sunny.
Hi, Sunny.
Hi, it's Misty, and who else is there?
Well, I've been speaking about communal living, and I just wanted to remind our audience that Christopher is going to be my guest speaker on the 25th, and if you see this on YouTube, you just notice that a couple of shows later that you'll hear Christopher Stephen Jacobs as my guest speaker on the Candy Shop show on May 25th. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Yes, Misty, I guess we will let you go, and Sunny and I might talk for another minute.
Okay, well, let me just say a couple things, too, before I go. I think it's so wonderful to hear your voice, Sunny. And let's see, I'll just say that I'll be back on. Well, you can probably catch me on at least a few of the shows coming up this week. I'm not sure which ones, but we'll see which ones that God allows for. And but otherwise, I'll be on the show every other Thursday. This show will be We Are the Solution 128 with MistiLyn Star. And in 2 weeks, I might actually share my bio, which I didn't have time. I didn't share today. I didn't have it ready, but I will have it ready by then. And I hope to have even, I don't know. We'll see who we have on the call for our guest. I'll be focusing on natural healing, organic ways, organic eating,
That's
herbs.
Wonderful. That's wonderful.
All, yeah, definitely. Because I don't know. For some people think I'm really organic, and they're right. So. So anyway, I look forward to sharing all of that, and I look forward to sharing my bio, and I look forward to all the calls coming on the rest of the week. And, bless all of you, and thank you to everybody who listens to this. I hope that you found something inspirational. And, maybe maybe we could put out a call to request to, if anybody has anything they'd like to share about any male communes, or where that it might be all male households, because we can talk about the benefits of the women households, but we need the male and the masculine energy first. We all work together. I think that we can all work together. Maybe we'll have a one all male community helping, or household helping an all female household in some way, shape, or form, where we just kind of help each other out, that kind of thing. It's kind of the things that come to my mind. Maybe in the future for this area or other places. But, thank you so much, Candy, and thank you, Sunny, and thank you to the rest of the listeners who will listen to this.
I'd love to help you with that show if at some point, you can, if you're doing it on healing and food and stuff, because that's really an area that I like to get into.
Wonderful. We'll plan on the Thursdays. I'll be on again the week after this, and I'm looking forward to it. For sure.
I sometimes run late because I was in town today, so that's why I'm on so late, because my caregiver and everything. But hopefully I'll be able to participate in some of these shows.
That'd be wonderful.
I'm glad you're doing it. That's good to hear.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Candy. I'm going to let you guys close it out. Or talk for you or whatnot, but I'm going to go.
All right. Good night, Misty.
Good night. Love to you. I go with the flow.
Yeah.
Love to you, beautiful women and beautiful people who are listening to this call, and the Galactics and everybody else. Thank you so much, so much. All right, have a wonderful night.
You too.
All right, thank you. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Stay on, Sunny.
Yeah, sorry I got on so late. I didn't want to, but how it goes.
Is there anybody else that's on the call that might have a question or comment about what I've been sharing for the last hour? just come on in. You don't have to do *6 because we didn't close the phone. Well, listen, Sonny, it was fun. I gave a lot of details about my current living situation, and I'm very excited and very pleased about it. If you get a chance to listen to the YouTube in a few days or the playback.
The phone. I'll listen to the phone replay because that's what works for me.
Okay. All right. Well, it's just going quite well. We're just very supportive here, and there's 6 adults here right now, and one of the men that just joined us on Monday, he knows about communal living, and he's been reading about it. He's never really experienced a formal commune like this, but he's read a lot about it, and he is so excited to. And I was asking him when he first arrived, because I've set this up more like a landlord and tenant things, and I kind of tricked them. They didn't really realize they were joining a commune. But you see, I asked them all. I asked them, would you like to have a group potluck once a week with me? And they all know that I'm a widow, and they were all very nice about. Oh yeah, that sounds nice. And they could tell that that I get lonely at times, and so. But of course, if you have a meal together, then that's the basis of starting a commune.
So yeah, he didn't know he was joining a commune.
Right. Yeah. And the ladies didn't either. But and the ladies had never heard of a commune.
Oh.
And, yeah. And so now we've developed into a commune, and it's just a lot of fun. And so anyway, I was going to offer to pay him to do some handyman things, and he started to move some blocks and do some things, and then he said, I'm a musician, I'm not a handyman, and he says, I don't want to have that kind of relationship here, employer-employee kind of thing. He says, if you need a favor once in a while, just let me know. And so I was a little startled, but I was really pleased. I kind of misunderstood and thought that he wasn't going to help. But no, he's helping all the time. But he's letting me turn around and help him. So what we're doing is it's the communal thing. We're just sharing like a family. So, I had some stakes that I needed to be hammered in around the garden. And so he took the sledgehammer and he did that. And then I gave him a lot of seeds and plants and a 55-gallon drum and some other things. And he's just, been doing some favors for us. And so that's making it so much more fun than just having somebody who's renting for, to do handyman work or something.
Yeah, it's much more the organic way of giving and receiving. Yeah, that's great. I'm glad this. How many are living there now with you?
There's 6 since he moved in on Monday.
Oh, so 6 in addition to you, huh? Okay. Well,
there's 3 women in the house, and then there's 3 in the rest of the land. Yeah. And what he's going to do is he's ordering he's going to be building a cabin, and so he is living in this 5th-wheeler that I had bought for the purpose of renting out. And so when he gets his cabin partially finished, he'll be moving into it, and then the 5th-wheeler will become available. So we'll have a spot open. We actually have a room available in the house for another woman, and we all have different work schedules. So we have had one woman said, I'm not going to move in a house with 4 women and only 1 bathroom. And I wanted to laugh because we have no problem. Nobody wants to use the bathroom at the same time. It's not happened. In all these weeks, it has not happened. So it's just working out fine.
Well, that's nice. Yeah, you have slightly different schedules in that way, or just how it flows. So you don't need to.
Amy leaves at 5:30 a.m. for her job, and then I get up and use the bathroom, and then Samantha, she gets up about 9 o'clock. And so I have that time, between 5:30 a.m. and 9 o'clock while I'm by myself, and I like to do my quiet anesthesia meditations and different things. And then it's nice to, have coffee with Samantha before she leaves for her job.
That's kind of my schedule. I get up between 8:30 and 9, like 8:45. She's the one that had the healing with Christopher, yeah? I remember.
Right, and she did have to go ahead and go to the hospital, but she finally got to the right hospital and got the right antibiotic, and so she's feeling wonderful. And she felt wonderful from Chris's healing, but then she got the physical problem solved too.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I got the impression she had bowel problem as well, like I do. But she had an infection. She had to get antibiotics for that.
Yeah.
Not that we want to discuss this too much on the recording, but
it's a long story.
Yeah,
it's a chronic condition that she has to. She just had a flare up, but but she's younger, and it's gonna she's gonna do well, and I think she's doing very well. She hasn't complained one thing on just suddenly going on the vegetarian diet. She's enjoying it, and I'm glad to see that. Yeah, she's asking me all kinds of questions about OWASP and about health practices. So it's been a lot of fun. Well, listen, I think we should wrap this up for the show and the taping. And I know you've had a lot of wonderful communal experiences, and Misty gave a plug to your show earlier in the call, for you to come on Tuesday nights.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, so we're talking more about communal living on other shows now, sounds like. But that's good, and because we're doing some, not really other things, but, I don't want to feel that we're trapped in just talking about, community stuff. But I want to do things regarding music, which is all part of community anyway. Music and I was just, Dale seems to want to have special shows devoted to special topics. But anyway, I know we want to wrap this up, so anyway, that's kind of how it's been going. Of course, with Peter's going to be on, and then Belden.
Well, I think that the rainbow gatherings are wonderful ways to get a flavor for a type of community, and of course they meet for 2 weeks in June and July in America and in elsewhere in the world. And they always, their last day is July 4th. And this year, they try to do it in a different part of the USA. And this year, it's going to be in Maine. And so people can just put in this Google search engine, Rainbow Gathering 2016, and they can see all about that. And if anybody can get to Maine who's thinking about community and experience 2 weeks of community, then you can see what it's all about. And if you want to take those ideas back home and try it yourself.
Well, that's interesting. I guess it's usually in the western states, but that's interesting that they're having it in Maine this year. It's back more in where I grew up in that area.
Right, right. And like I said earlier, we have an opening for one or two more. We don't want to grow to more than 12 people. We want to keep it small here, where we are with the 5 acres. But for right now, I mean, if someone were to arrive in the next week, we have room for one or two to have a roof over their head.
Well, it sounds really good. What you're developing there, it sounds great. And maybe you can send pictures, put them on Facebook or something, so you can see how, you know.
Yes, I'm going to get a picture of us 3 ladies and get it on Facebook real soon.
All right.
Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend, honey.
You too, Candy. Talk to you soon.
Are you looking for healing or a change in your life to help you enjoy it more fully? You might benefit from a galactic energy reading and clearing from Chris Jacobs. Chris will work with you on a soul level to clear unseen negative influences, implants, programs, contracts, and energetic blocks. Chris Jacobs is a gifted energy healer. Contact him today at ChristopherStephenJacobs@gmail.com.